we're gonna talk about the using Java to develop a web application with JSP and servlet, right? In order for you to pretty much just experience with that, get some extra credit, and know what else you can do with Java. Like Blackboard use Java. Okay. So we have seen use Java for the Android, right? Apps. And you see we use JavaFX for like the application running on your local machine, right? With Java. Now, if we want to create a web application, like a website, pretty much. First, I mean, you have to have basic like HTML knowledge. How many of you know that already? How many of you say no, I don't? Okay, it's very easy. If you know how to write Java, then it's a markup language, hypertext markup language. I pretty much learned by myself. I learned from w3schools.com and having people hire me to build a lot of websites and just learn and do it and get paid. So that's how you pretty much learn. Because even you sit in a class, you don't use it, then you're gonna forget. Okay, so you have to learn by just using it. Like I said, it's very simple and easy. It's just a markup language. Like it's a language for the browser. Browser like IE, Chrome. Like for example, if I want to write a web page to say hello world, you just a markup just say, hey, I start with HTML at closing. This is like open curly braces, closing curly braces, and hello. I mean, this is not a good HTML but it works because they have the standard that should have the body tag. Everything should be inside the body, but I just want to make it simple to see how easy it is to create a web page HTML. Now I just create a hello world web page. Pretty much just gonna say hello world. Just say HTML and close it HTML. But again, you might want to spend more time to look at the site I just showed you. It shouldn't take long to just read through it. And when you save the file, it's going to be .htm or .html. Like homepage, normally it's going to be index. Okay, like homepage is going to call index. The first page, right, of the site is homepage. The rest you can name anything. So I just name it as index. Now, if you want to open, you just go to the location where you save it. Yeah, desktop. And this is it. And just use the browser to open. Right. Hello world, right? The website. All right. Now, Java. We have like JSP tutorial. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. So let me use the second one. So first, like I said, you should know HTML. You should have experience with Java coding, which you already have. So, and you should know the basic of like, after I have the HTML, like now it's running locally on my machine, correct? Like if I want you to access to this file, you cannot access to my file because it's locally run on my machine. You need to host it on the server. The server pretty much just a public machine with the IP that everybody can type like the domain name and get to the website and see hello world, right? Now the domain name pretty much just you register with the IP. Like IP is the address of your machine. Like the server can have the IP address. Then if you want to, if you don't have domain name, you can just type IP. It's going to link to that, the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So like for example, like if I want to get, let me do ping like HTTP. Like this is pretty much just the domain name for Nova website, right? And most likely people like to do SSL now, which is secure, right? Couldn't find. Let's see. Maybe we don't need HTTP. Let me ping Google. Okay, so that's the IP of Google. You see that, and domain name just register with that. Like if I go to my browser, I can access through the IP too. Correct? I don't have to type Google like 172.217.5.228. This take me to Google too, right? Or let me see nvcc.edu, right? So if I type the 164.106.130.6, right? So if I type 164.106.130.6, so it's going to take me to NVCC. It's just registered domain name because people not remember number, they remember name, right? Instead, and you Google by name. It's the same thing. That makes sense? So if I want you to access to my hello world, you just need to get to my IP. That's pretty much it. So it could be locally, like if I turn my machine to be server. Server is just a computer machine, right? So let's see, how do I do that? First, you need to make your machine as a server. Okay? And in Java, we use, like in .NET, they have IIS server. Like we can use Apache, Tomcat. Like in PHP, we have Apache. Java, we have Apache too. Like, let's see, we could go to Java Enterprise instead of Java. Pretty much just your like console program, right? JavaFX, your interface. Android, the apps. Enterprise is the web with JSP here, right? And you see it's going to ask you for the server right here, right? Application server. You have to download the server to install. It's just a program to make it a server. So you can just Google and download it. Like there are many servers. Like the light version is the Apache Tomcat server, easy to use, light. So just download like Apache Tomcat, right? Tomcat 7, Tomcat 8, just get Tomcat 8 and then just go and download from there. Okay. You can get, it depends on your OS, like if you are using Windows, just get the zip 64-bit Windows. Yeah. This is 8.5. Okay, download and install that. And then they should have the location where you have your Apache. Like normally in Windows, it's going to go under C. Like now I have it under C, right? Apache. See that? So this is pretty much a server, which when you run IntelliJ, let's see if I can, I think it seems like this one is done. It's just different version number. So it's just like extracting the file. It's not installer, so you can just put into any location. Like I just happen to put in C. Okay. So let me extract. let me create a okay, so and then you pretty much just link it to that, just like the way that I show you how to link JDK, remember, bin, right? So you create a new, just pick, these are all the Java web server list. Like I said, just use Tomcat, it's easy. They have more than one. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go with this one. So these are pretty much just a web framework. Okay, and there are many frameworks. So a framework pretty much just, they have like a template for you to use. Okay, that's pretty much. So this is 8.5, right? I have it ready right there. So that's a new one. So let's see. I'm going to, like, now I link to old one. Like for you, you not even have one, you may see empty. You can just go to new Tomcat server. So just take to Tomcat home, which is the location you just install, right? And hit OK. It's as simple as that, right? Okay, now let's see which one we want to use. We have many framework here. Java EE application. Let me just use basic, right? Let's see. This is JDK, Java. Let's do the 7. They also have statics web. Let me see 1 second. It's our enterprise. This Spring framework. It took so many options. 1 second. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick one for now. Okay, I'm gonna pick one for now. I'm gonna go with the Java EE application for now. Okay, hit next, and I'm gonna do my first JSP. Okay, finish this window. Projects. All right, so we gotta look at the project to see what do we have. Let's see. It seems like it's very empty, right? This is just the idea project, and this is the source folder, and this is just the XML file for the application. So source folder is where you have your Java code, .java, And what I'm looking for is, so they have Tomcat here. So let's see if I hit run. It's pretty much just going to have the Tomcat interface here, like pretty much an interface for the configuration. Like you want to launch with the Chrome, and this is going to be your like URL for your web application locally on port number 8080. Okay, you can always change the port number here. So required to support EAR. So we were talking about jar. Jar is like a zip file, right? So for the web, it's just have the EAR, Enterprise Archive file. Like when you deploy, like deployment pretty much just when you finish your project, you want to use that, you can just run application from jar, right? Normally you can launch your jar, right? This one you just launch from EAR for the web. So it seems like the configuration here is not correctly done. There's some errors here. So actually I want to get the one that have more structure than this one. Let me pick another one. Okay, like they should have like a folder for the web. Okay, so let me see if I get what happens if I try web application. This is Java server faces. Oh, by the way, in your textbook they have the chapter that talk about this too. I'm gonna pick web application for now. So my JSP web app. Okay, I want to see another structure. These are just the framework, like I said, right? Yeah, I'm looking for the web folder right there. So if the one before doesn't have that, so this one has web. All right, so this is with index.jsp. We were talking about index is like homepage, right? For HTML is index.html, right? For JSP, it's pretty much just Java on the web. They have their own pretty much tag. So like in HTML we call tag, right? This is an HTML tag, right? So Java they pretty much has JSP tag, right? Java server pages tag. Like if you look at, it's pretty much HTML too, but they may have something more than that. Like this is all purely HTML, okay, but this is part of the JSP tag, okay. So now I have index, right? If I want to do hello world, I can just say hello world. This is title that's going to go on when you run the web. This is all the title, like that, right? This is index. So when I say hello world, that title is changed to hello world, and let me use the hello world, right? Now let me try to run. Again, it's going to tell you, let's see, the URL. Normally it's going to be localhost. Localhost refer back to your own machine, okay? And it's open the web localhost 8080 hello world. See that? Now I have it run on the server, so that's why it's no longer the file path like before. Before it was a file path. See that? So meaning that localhost is my local host to test my own server. But if you want to get to my, I just need to have the IP and pretty much just open or allow that port for you to access, right? Configuration. So let's see if I can get my IP first. So I think IP config, right, on CMD. Then IP, like the IP address for my machine, right? This is a virtual box, local. I'm looking for which IP, wireless LAN. It looks like this one. I use Wi-Fi, right? Wireless. 10.28.57.219, right? So let's see. Like I show you, right? I can access through the IP too. So you can try to type that too on your browser. Try to see if you can access to Hello World. Let me know if you could. And also followed by port number, right? 80, correct? Yeah, there you go. You access to my machine now, right? See, I just published that. If you type that, you should see my website now. That's how you publish your web page. Make sense? Now, if I pretty much just have my own server, like public IP, then you can access my machine anywhere in the world. Like this is just local server to Nova, like LAN, just in the LAN network for Nova, you can access my machine. Make sense? Okay, you do the same, you just go and get a server and then install Apache and put a file, that's it, right? So now, we want to talk about, so we understand the basic HTML, how to host your page, right? How to publish your page, how to test and see if it works, HTML. This is all HTML, no Java yet, right? Because it's still depending on HTML. HTML is a language for the browser to show the web. It's language for the web, okay? But why we need Java? Like if you have the static content, static mean like if you want to show information, no interaction with the user, then HTML is enough. You don't need Java. But if you want login, user login, right? Authentication, yes, you need to have the logic if else going on, right? To check, like I can store my user person class that we just created. I can add the attributes like username, password, right? And then I can make an array to store that user information. Then when user log in, it's going to check against that to get the password and username is correct, right? All right, so let's see. We just see the basic. Now, if you see this, this is called expressions tag. This is JSP, right? I said, like HTML tag, just like that. Like this is when you see percentage equals, that's JSP, right? So you try to embed Java code in HTML, technically, right? So they call. Remember we were learning date, right? Date. If you remember, we were talking about date class, right? And date class is pretty much from package what java.util, right? So if I want to get the date to show on my web page, right, with Java, I can add the expression, right? So what is expression again? It's just like you want to add the values, just like you have the variables. Like this is like equals to the values, right? And this is from package java.util. You want to do the new date, right? Like we do date equals a new date, just like that. But you will not import the java.util at the top, right? But in this case, if we not import at the top, then we could technically just type the whole package name, right? So it's java.util.date. But you want to create a new object, so new, right? Now, if I redeploy this, because I changed the code, you can refresh your home page on your browser. Now you should see you get a date. Like if you have the contents that 8080 can be found because it's still redeploying. Let's see, update classes, redeploy. Let's see, otherwise I may need to restart my server. Let's see. There you go. If you refresh the page, you see I just changed the contents. So I embed HTML and Java code together now. See that? So that give me pretty much the current date and time. So that's just very simple, basic, right? Now you can write a whole code too, like we call scriptlets instead of expression. Like this is expression, right? You can write the whole code. So Java code can embed inside a scriptlet. Okay. Let's say I want to print something on HTML. If you do system.out, it's going to print on console, which will show you at the bottom here. This is your console, right? But if I want to print something on the page, okay, you gotta do let's say I do scriptlet, right? And you want to print something, you do out.print instead of system.out.print. Out.print is going to print something on the HTML page. Like, now you have to know HTML more than just HTML tag. Like, if I want to bold something, I just say B tag. Because you have to, if you don't do that, if you might just do like, let's say test, or let's say welcome to CSC201 homepage. Okay. So it's going to, let's see what we get, and let me redeploy it, and we're going to go and refresh. It's just right, just what you see, what you get, right? You get what you see. But if you start to learn like BR in HTML mean go to a new line, like print line, but you have to put inside the quotation, that part of the HTML, like print line, BR, like new line. And if you want to bold the text, so you just see B bold. But if you know CSS can do better than this tag. Like some of you said CSS there. I need to redeploy this. There you go, right? Move to a new line, bold the text. So that's why W3 School is a good place for HTML. That's why you should know some HTML, right? Alright, is it again? And these are all HTML. You could put Angular framework, but we're not talking about that, so we just want the basic first. So this is an HTML tutorial, like basic, like headers, headings. Heading is just like bold type. Formatting, bold, see that? So just B, I'll just show you. Surrounding the text with the tag. Make sense? Now, we want to know some basic, like how do we get input from the user? Like when you learn Java Hello World, then we learn scanner, how to read in, right? So it depending on HTML again. HTML has we want text, right? Form, like this form, right? So this is our HTML. Create this is text field, right? Just like when you do with JavaFX, you just drag and drop, right? But this one you need to know HTML. Okay. So this is called a form. A form is just like when you apply for the school, you have to apply to the application form. And then a form contains of all the data that you need to provide. Like now, if I want first name, last name, this is a code for that. And then I get this is what it's going to show you. Make sense? Like if I want a form, technically create a form, text, input type equal to text, mean text field. HTML composes with the tag itself, tag name, and the attributes. Okay, the attributes is just the type, and then you can give, this is like a variable name. When you refer to this field, then you know it means first name. Like variable name is first name, variable name is last name. Make sense? So technically I need this HTML. I could type, okay, I just want to shorten the time a little bit. So I pretty much is going to create a form right here, right? So just paste that code. Okay, so if we redeploy, we just create the user interface that the user can put in information right there, right? Seems like we did it twice, right? Yeah, I did it twice. Now we should be able to, like, user should be able to type. Now we should be able to get the data from the user once user submit, hit the submit button, right? Now the submit button is also HTML. Okay, so input type equal to submit. Okay, it's gonna be a button type. And if you say values, pretty much how you want the button to look like with the text like click me, right? Spelling input. So normally you, like standard HTML, you normally just end with, when you open the tag, you end with the tag like that, right? So when you do that, you normally surrounding with the contents. Like I open bold tags, the contents that I want to bold, closing that. Sometimes if you don't have any content to surrounding with, you can just do like ending in line like that. Okay, in the same tag, like closing and open. And I might want to go a new line right there, so line break. Okay, and this is our HTML code. That's why we not embed with scriptlets or not expressions, right? So let's redeploy, and we should see the button. Right there, right? But it doesn't do anything. It actually did something. You see that? Let's refresh it. Go back to your home page. Okay, so if I put my name, my last name, and hit, it's actually You see that this is the variables I'm talking about, like when you declare variables, you give the value to it, right? The variables give value to it. Then the variable just in HTML, you just do the name, right? Like that. See that? That's how you transmit the data. It's like hypertext, like protocol HTTP. So you transfer data on the URL. That's why if there's a guy sitting in a car with the program who captured the protocol, they can read everything that you type in. That makes sense? That's why they have to do SSL, mean you have to do secure, right? Socket layer, or you have to do encode it, and then when they take the data, they still be able to capture, but they not know when you encode it, right? And then when you get to destination, they decode it. Right, so that's why you don't want to do online banking with a site with no S, just HTTP, because the data is going to be, you can see like that, the pure data. What's your first name? What's your last name? What's your password? They can steal your information right there. That makes sense. So that's why application come now to handle that afterward, right? Java is going to come. Okay, well, after you submit what you want to do. So the question is how we going to write the code, right, to get the information. All right, let's see. We understand the basic scriptlets, right? We can do loops too. See that, for loops in the scriptlet, hello in the scriptlets. Now, they also have directive, right? Directive pretty much as you see in the beginning, like import statement. Then you don't have to do java.util.date, okay? So we want to look at all right, so this is the form. Input type equals submit, right? So this is a tag that, like form tag itself, has attributes that you can say action and call another page. Right, save name.jsp. Like I can pass this information to another JSP page. Okay, so let me just add that, right? Action equals to save name.jsp. So meaning that I need to create a JSP page, right? New JSP, and this is name, save name. So this is another page, right? So you can see this is a code. When I hit, it's going to talk to this guy, this page, right? So now this guy pretty much just going to, if you read the code, we just write Java code in that page, right? So it's going to have the request dot get parameter. Remember when I submit my information, is this is called parameter here, right? I can get the parameter name, first name, parameter name, last name, and then I can get the values from it, right? Right, so this the target of the form is when I submit, it's going to go to save name.jsp, which save the username in the session. So we talk about sessions, right? So session can be used in JSP. A session is an object associated with a visitor. Data can be put in the session and retrieved from it. Just think about, we have to find a place to store the information, right? So that could be a session. Okay. So we're going to write this code, right? And we read the information and we get the the name like tennis stored into the variables string name tennis, right? Just like in JavaFX, we just do refer to what if the text field name username, you say username dot get text, right? So just like that, this is just request dot get parameter username, then you get the values back to store. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that here. Let's say we're going to put in the scriptlet, right? Because this is Java code, we say string name equals to request dot get parameter, right? And the parameter name is we use first name, right? And let me do the same with last name. Okay, so let's just name this first name. Okay, and this is going to be referred to the last name. Okay, now I'm going to pretty much just print out using this, right? Say hello, which concatenating, right, in Java with the name, right, first name. And then let's say welcome to CSC201 class. Right, if I want to do full name, just concatenating again with last name. Okay, that's pretty much the code, right? So let's redeploy this. All right, so let's see if I type hello. See that? It's just take me to the next page and interact with me, right? And the values stay there. You see that? Now most of the time they have the form that you can specify method equals to, by default it's get. If we do post, meaning you're not going to see this information anymore. It's going to be hidden. Okay, by default I didn't specify it's going to be equals to get. So let's try again. So let's see. You're not seeing it anymore. See that? I want you to see it first, then you understand how it works. You're just passing the value through the URL, right? And then another page just take that and read it back. So that's how you take the input right in. So meaning that you can technically manipulate the data now. After you get the input, right?
If I wanted to display this information on the same page, how would it be done? How would you display it here on the same page?
Okay, so we have to think about how we're going to use the Java code, because this is all purely in JSP. And then you can set the values on the same page. We can look at that, okay? We can look at that. But let's understand the basic first. What time we have until? Is it about time now?
Yeah, about, I don't actually know.
5:20, right?
It's 5:20 or 5:40?
I think it's 5:20, right?
I think it's 5.
Oh, so let's call. So I guess next time we come back and we talk about this more, okay? Because we finished chapter 8 anyway, right? So now you have an idea to do your extra credit.